What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Black Belt Business Podcast. I'm your host, Eliot Marshall, and it is my goal with each episode of this podcast to share the stories, strategies, tactics, tools, and resources that will help you establish or grow your martial arts school. The Black Belt Business Podcast is brought to you by Easton.Online. You can find all of our digital courses, martial arts curriculums, and resources designed to help you enhance your business at Easton.Online. So without further ado, let's jump into the episode. All right, guys, back here. Episode 3 of Onboarding. Ian, what up again?
How are you?
I think as most of you can probably tell, we are wearing the same clothes. So yes, we film these all in one straight shot. So, the intro, the saying hello to each other is always a little interesting because we do it multiple times. We got ourselves a cup of coffee here. So yeah, little recharge for this last episode, talking about this topic of onboarding. Again, episode 1 of this aired 2 months ago. And that was all about from the time they click the website, the button on the website, call you, whatever, from the time they contact you until the time you set that appointment. Okay, so if you haven't listened to that, don't stop this one. You listen to this one, it's fine. But go back and listen to that one. Episode 2 was all about that first day, right? We did a whole episode about day 1 of the person's experience, from intro class, from walking in the door to intro class to fundamentals class to sale, how all of that needs to go, what that needs to look like. And then finally, here we are for what we're going to call the first 90 days. Day 2 all the way up until about day 90. Yes?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Let's be clear. Before we talk about any mat stuff, one of the big things that we do at Easton is what we like to call like the 2246 calls. Mm-hmm. We're following up with them still to see how their experience is going. 2 days after, 2 weeks after, 4 weeks after, 6 weeks after. Talk about that process a little.
Yeah, I think something that, and this is true throughout this entire process, like the other 2 episodes, is like you can't leave their experience up to it like being an accident, right? It's got to be, you have to manage their experience.
You've said engineered the whole
time. Yeah. I keep using the word engineered, but you have to engineer their experience. You have to manage their experience. So the 246 calls, it's like essentially what we really want to be doing is at a very steady cadence after they've enrolled, right? We're reaching out to them, and you don't, because I think what's very easy to do is like, okay, cool, they're here now. Right? Now we're just going to let this awesomeness take course and we don't have to worry about it anymore. Right? Well, no, because most people are going to quit within like you said, in the first 90 days. So we want our team, you want to train your team. Like, again, this is not memory, right? This is why having a CRM is so fundamentally important, is because all of this stuff needs to be systematized.
And let's talk about this, because I don't think we've said this in any of the other episodes. Everything we do in the CRM, if you have to call somebody, if you have to call me, if I'm the person here, there's a task set. Right. Ian, call Eliot Tuesday, 5 p.m. Mm-hmm. Eliot doesn't answer, and this is going back to episode 1. Eliot doesn't answer. Ian, call, text, email Eliot Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Now, once we're here on this 2246 call thing, it's set in the CRM. You don't have to remember it. And that's what we mean by systematized, correct? Like you're not, oh shit, I got to call Eliot. It pops up. You come to work, it pops up on your screen. Yeah. Call Eliot.
This is a part of like every day, every first impression specialist is what we call our front desk team. But every day they walk in, and the first thing they do is they go through what are called their tasks or their contact logs or their activities or whatever your CRM kind of calls it. But essentially we'll just use the word tasks for this. You're going to have all of these tasks that you have been assigned by this is why, the other thing is your teams, they have to be able to communicate with one another. Excuse me. Or maybe you're assigning it to yourself. If, let's say Eliot had come in, he signed up last night. I was the one who sold him. I will set my 246s to reach out to Eliot. Right. We also do a day after follow up now.
Right.
It's like the day after Eliot has signed up, I'm going to reach out, say, hey man, just thinking about you. Just wanted to check in, see how you're doing. Right.
But you don't have to remember that.
But I don't remember this because it's in it's the task that has been preset. right? So
that you set when you sold me.
that I set when I sold you, right?
Right.
And again, all of this is systematized. It can never be memory. I remember in the first episode, I had talked about how I saw that Reddit post where people are just either just expecting to rely on their awesome memory, or they have like a notebook, like a 3-ring binder where they're keeping these notes. You can't scale that. That's impossible. You need to have a CRM. And
that does all of this
that
stuff.
does all of this, and it's all done for you. I mean, and there's some of the good ones too. Like you can set this up, your exact cadence. It can be automatically generated. Like it'll populate it automatically once the person has enrolled, which is a beautiful thing.
Yes, that would be a baller CRM. You know,
Mm-hmm.
the ones that we recommend definitely do that.
Yes.
You know, so do that. Push Press does this, you know. So if you're like, and I've said them a bunch of times here, but if you are a single school operator, look, I'm saying that, and we don't even use them, right? Because they don't handle multiple locations. We need multiple locations. But if I were to have a single operator school, one school, Eliot's Jiu-Jitsu school, I'd be using them, hands down, without a doubt. I'd be using them. So. You don't even know about them, Ian, because...
Well, I've looked into it, and I love I like everything about it. They do everything really well. They do the sales funnel really well, the tracking. I looked at it, and believe me, like,
it's great.
I'm a fan.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's great. It just doesn't do the one thing that we massively need.
Yeah,
which is multiple locations. They'll be coming to court us very soon, probably once they can. So
yeah, we'll be excited to do it.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: like you cannot, if you're getting anything out of this, like you have to have a CRM, right? You just can't do this competitively if you're not.
It's impossible.
If you don't have it.
Impossible.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that's the cadence of how we follow up.
Yeah,
right?
we do this for 6 months.
6 months.
Right. So, and again, it tapers off, right? We don't want to become obnoxious, but again, when you reach out to someone and it's 6 months out and you're like, hey, Eliot, hey man, it's been 6 months, right? Now here's where the super why and their current level, you know, if you're promoting correctly, all this matters because I get to say, Eliot, it's been 6 months, dude. Right on, man. I just, you know, you're 3 stripes now. You know, I remember when you first came in, you were talking about how like you felt like you were, you know, just insecure and, you know, you wanted to get tougher. How are you feeling, man? And you know, how are you feeling about your progress towards that? We can have a real conversation based on information they've already given us. And again, this, you know, not to beat this horse to death, but having a CRM where you put those notes in, you're not going to remember this.
Right.
Right. And this is the stuff that makes, you know, instead of just being, hey, Eliot, I'm calling you because it's been 6 months and I wrote in my notebook I should do this. Right. That makes people feel like a number. And one of the things that you're always combating, right, is like we never want people to feel like they're just another, you know, another number. Like
a clog in the wheel.
Yeah. No, they got to feel like, you know, and they should be treated this way.
That's
like,
right. Not a clog in the wheel, spoke in the wheel.
Yeah. Like they got to feel like they're, you know, a big member, you know, a piece of this community. Right. So, yeah, the following up, but the communication, always err on the side of over communicating and not under communicating.
Yeah.
It's got to be happening from the moment that lead form comes in.
Yep.
You know, before, during, and after.
Yep.
That communication.
And so many people just stop after the sale.
Yeah.
I got them.
Yeah, that's
I
average.
got 'em.
You don't want to be average.
Yeah. I made the sale. Now they're on their own. They can't be on their own. How do you, I can't leave my 16-year-old on his own, you know, and he's a pretty good 16-year-old, but he, you know, I had, you know, we're redoing the kitchen right now and you can't, and he caked up a dish the other day cooking and I saw him go to wash it today and I go to watch him try to wash it outside and I'm like, what are you doing? Like his process was just retarded. You know, and I got mad at him, you know, but then I'm like, he's 16, you know, like he's not there yet.
Right.
And this is the same of like your 1 month in student.
Yeah.
They're not there yet. Okay. This is where real difficulty starts to come because jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai are really fucking hard.
Yeah.
If you want to get good at them, they are supremely hard. Now, they're not hard to you anymore. They're not hard to me anymore. We're not nervous. I mean, they're hard for different ways for us because we're beat up,
so hard
right? But it's you're not scared walking into school.
But I was for a long
A
time.
long time, and this
Like a
is
year.
right. And this is why we're doing all of this follow-up, right? To make sure that we're, again, keeping people, and I don't want to, and let's bring it to money for a second.
Yeah.
So that we can actually fucking make some,
Yeah.
right? Because it was $100 just to get them to walk in the door.
All right.
And that's without paying staff. Once you start adding staff and commissions and classes and all this, before you as the business owner start making money, it's like the 3-month point. And then at the 3-month point, you do start making good money as the business owner on a member.
Well, you can.
You can.
Yeah, if they stay around.
If they stay, right? I'm saying, but they got to get there.
Right.
But up until that point, most people quit before that 90-day point, you've made no dollars.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
You've made no dollars until they're through 90 days.
That's a really good way to look at it. And you have to look at it that way.
Yeah.
Why would anyone do this if you can't earn a living? Right. So you have, this is an important, if anyone is listening to this podcast and you don't care about making money, well, then don't listen to the podcast.
Then don't rent a building.
Yeah. Right. Like that, but at the end of the day, you can look at this, from the selfish business owner perspective, which isn't selfish. It's just the way it is. Like, you need to make money to live. Right. But beyond that, right, the gift that you get to give to all these people, which is, ultimately like a core reason why we all do this. We could all go do something else, right? But we love jiu-jitsu.
I don't know if I could, but okay.
Yeah, well, we love jiu-jitsu. We want to give
Right.
it to people. Well, you can only continue to give it to people if you have a self-sustaining operation.
If you're open.
If you're open. Yeah, if you're open, So, man, it makes the experience better. Right, like all boats rise with this tide. With this tide, it's like the better the experience for the person, right? The more the person feels like they belong, the more they feel like you care. I always have loved that saying: "No one cares how much you know until they know how much you care."
Yep.
Again, it's cliche, but it's true, right? But you gotta systematize it, right?
Yep.
That's the hard part. You just don't have enough bandwidth to do it on your own.
Let's talk about our fundamentals programs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And now they are both basically the same. They're not the same as far as like what we do, but the structure of them and the why behind what we do it happens in both the striking side and the jiu-jitsu side. Let's broach striking first, for example. Okay. You come in, you're in your first class, and you're in your first 90 days here. You're not having contact with another person.
Yeah. No, and this is just a fundamental.
And we talked about
difference.
this a ton with Sean. So,
Yeah,
the last episodes, but go ahead. You're not having contact.
Yeah, you're not having contact, right? It also, one thing we love about we have Muay Thai. Not a lot of people know what Muay Thai is.
Right.
And kickboxing is a very common search, right?
Right.
People want to do like kickboxing, cardio kickboxing, whatever. So it's a really nice way to think of like a funnel, right? The sales funnel. You get a larger audience, and then you can start to show them and introduce them through your kickboxing course or your kickboxing class to Muay Thai, and they can graduate to it. But
The whole point of them is to go from graduating from this non-contact bag class into traditional Muay Thai.
Exactly. Right. So it's all about making people feel safer. Right.
Right.
Striking is just inherently different than jiu-jitsu, obviously, in that we don't want people getting punched or even holding pads. It's a skill.
Too hard.
It's too hard. So
too much injury.
Yeah. Too much injury. So this is like a really great way to have people get a great workout in. But one thing that I love that we've always done is we don't do cardio kickboxing. Everything is there's always technique. You get an amazing workout, but you're actually learning and improving. Progress is satisfying. You know what? I've been thinking about this a lot. The difference between having fun and what's and satisfaction, right? They're two different things, right? Fun is I'm going to go, tonight my wife and I will watch a TV show and that's fun together. We'll do that. It's not satisfying. It's not, and what
you don't feel anything about it.
You don't feel, there's no progress being made, and whereas with jiu-jitsu and kickboxing and Muay Thai, we get to give the real gift of it's satisfying and gratifying because they can feel tangible progress, and tangible.
You
accomplish something and tangible progress becomes fun,
And we rank people right away.
Yeah. Yep.
In striking and jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, exactly.
So, that's the striking end for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
The grappling end, our fundamentals program is very engineered. Let's just keep using the engineered. We already talked about the peel off. The peel off happens so that the less experience goes to more experience. The more experience goes to less experience. And then the people that have been there for about the 1 or 2 month mark, they end up working together a lot, But the peel off always happens. And then in that class, first of all, let's just talk about having that class. Excuse me here. And we've talked about this so much at Easton.Online because so many people, so many jiu-jitsu schools, I guarantee if you go on Reddit and make a post, Ian, how many of you have a fundamentals class? Almost all of them say, we just do all levels.
Which is so crazy. Like here I am, my mind is blown. Like with other stuff I read, not having a fundamentals class is insane.
Insane.
Insane. Yeah, something you had said in the last podcast, and it bears repeating because of its importance, is like to set people up to feel like they're capable and they're making progress and actually getting this. You have to have a curriculum that is structured and repeats itself, right? Otherwise, again, you cannot leave this up to your memory. You have to have this. This has to be.
What did I teach last week? Oh yeah.
You can't do that. It's got to be, you got to have this. It's got to be super structured because that's how people are going to start. People are going to recognize progress in really 2 different ways. They're going to get the stripes. That's the recognition of progress from the authority, right? The instructor, and that's awesome. But they also have to actually feel like they're getting better, right? And that's only going to happen if you have a repeatable process, right? It's also going to help your students. I mean, forget, the progress for each individual student is no one wants to run a jiu-jitsu school or a Muay Thai school where your student body is weak and can't do it, right? They're not, we should care that our student body is tough, right? That they can actually be good, practitioners.
And this is where we get the most pushback on fundamentals is we don't let them train, right? There's no live training. And we kind of hold their hand a little bit, right? We make it a touch softer than what you and I experienced, and probably most of the instructors out there experience. And this is where you get you're becoming a McDojo, you're becoming a pussy, you're becoming all those things. And the example that I always love to use, and I use her all the time for this example, our by far most accomplished athlete that we have ever produced is Anna. In 5 months last year, 4 months, 2 ADCC trials wins, UFC BJJ win, gold medal, all black belt, gold medal, Pans no gi, gold medal, Euros no gi, and got second in the World Championship no gi, all from September through October.
I didn't even know that.
Yes.
Good job, Anna.
Good job, Anna. She did fucking fundamentals. Why? And she did striking first with us because she was too scared to do jiu-jitsu.
Oh yeah, I remember.
She was too afraid to do jiu-jitsu because it looked so damn hard, right? That she wouldn't even come to this side of the mat at first, and then she did, and then we babied her. Let's say, made it soft, easy, applicable, doable for a 15-year-old, 130, 20-pound female,
right?
And now she's a fucking champion.
Yeah, well, just the idea that you can just jump into calculus without learning addition and subtraction is just nonsensical.
Nonsense.
It doesn't make any sense. Right. You like, and again, I think it's one of those things where slow is smooth, smooth is fast, right? Like if you, you're gonna miss like so much, so forget it just being a completely better experience for every single new member, right?
Right.
So forget that whole side of it,
right?
Just in general of having like this idea that it's going to make your students tougher is just completely bonkers. What
not having one.
Yeah. Not having a fundamentals class. Yeah. And what the constant thing as an instructor, right. And I feel it, right. And I've been doing this for a long time is like, you want your classes to be exciting, right. But you want, and so you feel like teaching flashy stuff and like, letting them train right away.
Watching them get beat up.
Yeah. Like, that's not, but it doesn't do it. It's like that. You got to eat your vegetables, and this is why framing is so important, right? Like, look, if you don't know how to frame this, then yes, you're going to have students who don't know why we're doing things the way we do. So you have to tell them. I remember, so I actually started, I was in that sort of group where you had to get your third stripe. And over and over and over, you guys would say, hey, listen, we're doing this for just this reason. Yes, you could go train live right now, and a lot of schools do it that way, but that's not what's going to get you good, right? What's going to get you good is actually learning the building blocks, so then we have a real foundation to build off of, right? And I heard that and was like, that makes sense. I still wanted to train because I was chomping at the bit, but by the time I was 3 stripes, I felt like I had a solid foundation, and it also prevents injury. There's so many reasons to not do it the other way.
It takes the biggest problem outside of like injury and safety and stuff, the ego out of the way, because there ain't no winning and losing yet.
Yeah.
Because
right.
because in the beginning you can do so much wrong and win because the person you're doing it against is also terrible.
Yeah,
jiu-jitsu.
right, exactly.
So you build all these awful habits that work for a year and then they stop working all of a sudden and then you get frustrated then and quit.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're like, oh man, everything I've been doing just doesn't work. This sucks. Where when you take the winning and the losing off the table, you don't beat me and I don't beat you and we just focus on doing the move right. Now you start to ingrain those habits of like how to learn better. How to train, okay, this is how it's done. Not did I get out of the mount today, regardless of how I did it.
No, exactly. And I think there's a lot of first of all, we've almost done a science experiment within Easton. We've had schools be out of alignment with this.
Yes.
And they're not producing, they weren't producing the same level, of jiu-jitsu practitioner.
Centennial was the biggest one.
Yeah.
Centennial 2017 was the biggest one. Centennial was out of alignment with what, let's say at that time it was basically just Denver and Boulder, out of alignment with what Denver and Boulder, and not even to the level that we're at now, but they wouldn't do sales the way we were doing. They weren't doing sales the way we were doing sales, and they wouldn't start a fundamentals class, and then all of it. And then Mike and I went in, got the GM at the time to get on board. And literally, again, let's just take it back to money here, okay? Literally, they went from what I want to say was like 150 students and making $60,000 a year to 340 students and making $180,000 a year. In 1 year, I think it was 6 months actually, of just implementing these systems. So, yeah. This is what happens, and people got tougher, and that's just like the next piece of it.
Yeah, no, it's like it's one of those things that has like these knock-on effects that you're gonna have more students. I think something that's very easy to do is like to, I think there's probably a lot of schools who don't do this and they have maybe a few tough guys, and it's be like, well, we have these tough guys because of this. Well, it's like no. Right? It's like it's self-selecting. The problem is those guys or girls, whoever they are, stayed because they were inherently tough, and everyone else who could have been good left because maybe they very quickly didn't have any success right out of the gate. They were treated poorly and they just bounced. Right? Like some of the just to speak about Anna again, is just a great example of this. Yeah, clearly the most accomplished and probably one of the most gifted, students. She would have never done this. Like if she had, she started this
when I started.
Yeah, and she's tough as hell, right? But she's way tougher than I ever was. But she's, and I'm talking better at jiu-jitsu and probably just mentally tougher. That said, right? Initially, sometimes you don't know how tough you are until you're in the fire a little bit. And she would have never gotten in it because she was already apprehensive.
Yeah.
So you really have to create an environment for people where they can thrive. And then that's where you're going to have, now you can, how to have a tough school and how to not have a tough school is a
different
whole conversation.
Yeah.
But man, you are losing so many potential people that could have been amazing because you're not doing it right if you're doing this incorrectly and you don't have a fundamentals class.
And part of that, look, all of it, I don't know why it pops in my head. This is all a pushback on the phrase in jiu-jitsu, and I hate that. And I know it's a company in jiu-jitsu that you can't teach heart. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, you can. That's exactly what we do.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we do. Now look, man, and I know he's not like the most the best person to talk about now. He lied a lot, and Tim Kennedy is a tough motherfucker. He was born tough, probably. Everything about him is tough. There ain't nothing not tough about that guy. We're not talking about him in this scenario. We're talking about, look, me. I'm a pussy. I really am. Like, if you all could have seen me when I first started jiu-jitsu, like, I would, like, if I got hurt a little bit, I would run off the mat outside. Man, I was just soft. I was just, and I masked it with bravado a little, definitely. Go ahead, what were you gonna say?
No, I was going to say, I agree with you. I mean, there are so many, that is 90% of people guys especially who start jiu-jitsu.
But jiu-jitsu has made me tougher.
Yeah.
And in that toughness, it's made me like more open. It's, like, it's a very interesting thing. Like, most people who walk in, no matter how tough they look, aren't tough.
Yeah.
And that's who we're trying to help.
Exactly.
We're trying to, and that's the point of this. So this idea in our fundamentals programs, in our first 90 days, that you're gonna create soft people, and I know we kind of went on this tangent here, is just not true.
Yeah, you have to make sure that first 90 days, like, again, you have to be setting these people up for success. You have to be framing everything correctly. And you have to, I think, to put it simply, it's like, you have to show them that they belong, that they're capable. If you do those two things well, and again, that all has to be, you have to rely on systems to do this, right? Because you will not remember.
And creating a fundamentals program is not easy.
No, it's not.
And getting your instructors to stick to it is not easy. Like, none of this is easy. And so it's all about systematizing.
Don't we provide that for people?
100%.
Yeah. Well, that's what you should do.
Yes. And yeah. If you don't have one and you would like to start one, we've got it for you, and that is the whole point of Easton.Online, is we have everything that we do at Easton that we're talking about in all of these podcasts, we have for you,
right?
Yeah. So that we can help you. And now, look, do you have to do it perfectly, exactly like us? No, we don't make you do anything, but it's like, look, here it is. You need a fundamentals program. Here you go. Do we show you how to start it? Yeah, we show you how to start it. Do we show you how to implement an intermediate program? Yes. Do we show you how to build culture? Yes. Do we show you how to take care of somebody in this first 90-day onboarding period? Yes. Right?
Yeah, so
it's like there's really no reason not to do it. It's much easier now.
Yeah, well, it's like it's sort of the same thing. It's like, just to frame it, like, if someone who's starting jiu-jitsu, it's like, we know that if someone who starts this is committed, to following through with what we're teaching, right? And we know that our process is predictable and that the results will be very strong. And I would say Easton.Online is like that. It's like, if you enroll at Easton.Online and you don't use any of the stuff that we're going to provide, well, you're not going to get results. But what we see over and over is, if you do this and you are committed to actually following through with the things that you give, the results are predictably strong.
Phipps, have we had anybody hit us up that they did it and it didn't work? I don't think we've ever had it, right? Now, and we've had people admit to us that they don't do it.
I've had that. I don't understand it. I've had people pay me to go out there for like a week. Yeah. We've sat down, gone through everything, and then they just never implement any of it.
Right.
And I'm like, why did we do that?
Why did we do that? Like, you sent me money. That's cool. But I would rather not have. I would rather
keep
not
your
have your money. And waste and wasted my time coming out there.
Yeah, and it's like this is the beautiful thing about this, is like, this actually works. This is going to make a massive difference in your ability to operate your academy and the member experience, which is everything.
And the way the way that I always like to say that we know that these systems work, the 2246, like the following up with people, the fundamentals programs, the moving them onto intermediate programs, the onboarding, all of this stuff. We know it works because it's almost 4:00 on a weekday. All of our schools are operating right now. You're the COO.
Is it almost 4:00?
It's almost 4:00.
Oh, okay.
You got to go.
Yeah.
It's 3:30,
Oh, okay. Cool.
So it's 3:30 in the afternoon. All of the schools are about to start happening. And Ian, are you going to go teach the classes or do the sales today?
No.
Did you do them yesterday?
No.
Did I?
I don't think so.
I haven't, we switched CRMs a couple years ago. I could not tell you how to use it. I have never opened up our new CRM. Not one time. Never. So, it works because we don't have to actually operate the day to day like that.
Yeah, we have to train the people.
We have to train the people to operate the day to day. You do it,
Yeah.
and I'm even one more step removed. So it works because it's repeatable. And that's what a system is. We have 8 schools doing this, running just like this, every single one. Okay. So that's the pressure tester, I think.
Yeah.
Right. Because man, you could definitely get a charismatic dude who could crush one school.
Yep.
But if it's all based on Eliot's charisma, Amal's charisma, Henzo's charisma, Lovato's charisma, if it's based on things like that, it's not repeatable because I can't be at all the schools every day.
Yeah, it's like what I said in the beginning. It's like system scale, heroes don't.
Right. So again, and I talk about this a lot, and this is, with all the Easton.Online clients, and I know we're kind of like wrapping up onboarding here as a whole. When you go to our website, you can't find anything about me, right? Nothing. You can't find anything about Anna. You can't find anything about Amal. It's not about that because it doesn't scale. What scales is the systems. What scales is your fundamentals program. What scales is how you teach your intro class, how you follow up with people, all the things that we've talked about here over the last 3 episodes. Yeah. So, you have to take them on a journey of that 90 days. You have to be communicating with them. And man, if you get nothing else from this episode of the podcast, implement a fundamentals program. Take your students through it. Don't let them just be fed to the wolves because you're trying to make them tough.
Yeah, I would say throughout these episodes, the biggest things are get to leads quickly.
Oh, wrapping up the whole thing.
Yeah, wrapping up the whole thing.
Wrapping up the whole thing. Yes, please go.
Get to leads quickly as you possibly can. Treat every lead like what it is.
Mm-hmm. I love that. It's an asset.
Have a CRM that can allow for a robust follow-up process so nothing falls through the cracks. Create a 4-star, 4-diamond level hotel experience for every single person who walks in your academy. Roll out the red carpet for everybody and make their experience, engineer the experience. And then, I think having a fundamentals class that is, lets them know exactly what to expect. All those things are super important.
And then after you do this,
mm-hmm.
and after you've built some real trust with people and they trust you and they feel safe in your community, they feel safe coming on your mats, then what I like to say is you can take them to hell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then you can take them to hell. And when you take them to hell, they'll walk through. You'll walk through hell with them. They'll walk through hell with their training partners, and that is what will make them stronger and tougher. And all of the things that we know that jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai can do than they ever would have believed in themselves.
Yeah.
But you have to do this piece first. You can't do this. You can't do the take them to hell piece first, right? Because and when I say take them to hell, that hard training where they're going to really think that they can't do this, and we've all had that experience of like, man, I cannot finish this training session right now.
You're going to fail.
And then you do. But if you try to do that right away,
mm-hmm.
then you're kicking them out. You're kicking them out the door, and you're not allowing them to reach their full potential. So, man, I'm really passionate about this subject. I know you're really passionate about this subject, and I think, and we've talked about money. It's not because of money for us. I think it's because of what jiu-jitsu did for us.
Oh, absolutely. There's a lot of ways you could go make money. I could go be a lawyer or whatever.
Yeah.
But this is what I love. Changed my life. And I feel very grateful that I get to be a part of something. When anyone walks in our doors, like I know that we have a key that unlocks so many great things for people. We all have that. Anyone listening to this podcast probably it's what you're doing. It's a really cool thing to be able to do something as meaningful as this. So take it seriously.
And when we blow it,
mm-hmm.
which we do,
it's
not the other person's fault.
Yeah,
we blew it.
Yep.
When somebody quits our school for something other than like, a major illness, or they're moving, because they're, they got a new job somewhere, an opportunity. When somebody quits our school because it's just like, what, I'm bored, I don't want to do this anymore, or I had a bad experience, it's our fault.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's our fault. We did something along the way that didn't show them how great we are.
Yep.
It's not them. Don't blame them. So that's it, guys. Ian, you're the fucking man. Though Ian has developed so many of these systems at our schools. So thank you for all of that. Phipps, thanks for running the cameras like a G as always. Thanks everyone for tuning into this little mini series on onboarding with Easton.Online. I'm at Fire Marshal 205. He's at Ian Lieberman, never on Instagram. That's Mikey Mike Phipps. He said he hasn't been on Instagram for a month, but at Easton.Online, at _ Easton.Online is always on Instagram. So hit me up, hit Easton.Online up. We will always be here to answer. And again, like Ian said, like we talked about right there about 5 minutes ago, all of this shit, every single piece of what we've gone over for the past 2.5 hours of over three podcasts, we have for you. Hit us up. If you need it, we got you. Let's go.